into a positive movement key at that. And then I also notice here that this is quite a bit tall, so I will go at it forwards like that so as to climb it. And climbing it will give you, or it'll let you go higher than just doing it like well, you might be able to, yeah, doing it sideways. So that's one. And then I also found another one up here. Say we have this truss right here. Now I notice there is a ceiling above it, and we need to get onto here. And my first thing I saw was this right here. Now this is called a bottom flick, and you're able to do the same thing as a truss flick. It's just upside down. So you're able to flick off the bottom because you still have the same physics with your feet. It'll still register the bottom as a thing you can flick off of, so you can do something like that. Now one thing to note here is, remember, on a truss flick you couldn't be too far out or it wouldn't work. Now in this case, remember that when your body, your torso is in here, your actual torso is about like a quarter to a half stud inward. So if your torso's too far inward and you go down here, it'll register your legs being on this bottom thing. So you'll fall off like this. So see, it'll, if I just tap it, it would register me on it and I'll fall off. So that's what happens when you're too close. So you can't be too close or too far. All right, you need to be like a perfect length between like a quarter stud and a half stud away. One thing that this will help on is you can go up to a ceiling and then say hold a movement key that will push you into the truss, and then hold space for like a second, and you'll be at the perfect distance away to do this. Now in this case, I noticed that this bottom flick didn't give me enough height, even when I did the method to go to the perfect like super jump area. So I was like, all right, I might have to use my jumping here. So what I do is I would use upward momentum. So I'll press A, in this case, a negative movement key, and then space, and then I'll switch to D, my positive movement key.
I'm nervous.
And then boom, I made that jump.
I'm nervous.
Okay, on to the next scenario. Guess what? I have another thing to mention. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Okay. You might have noticed when I was doing the upward momentum, I was not 3 truss prongs down, I was 1 truss prong down. And you might be a little bit confused. Why was I 1 truss prong down? Well, you might already be able to identify why. You see, I get the furthest, or the greatest amount of height, not at the first stud, but around about 6 or 7, or probably about 5 or 6 studs out. So depending on how far this ceiling goes out will tell me where I can do the upwards momentum. So on a downwards momentum, I can be really close to it and still jump without hitting my head. And upwards momentum, I usually go about 1 stud below, because if I go any bit higher, it might not work. Because I just want to be as careful as possible, because I don't really care about making it as precise as it can, because this jump isn't too hard. I just want to be able to do it consistently. And another thing to mention, right above us, so we can't just flick over there, because we will hit our head. As you heard from that sound effects, that means I would have died if I was in a real room. So to prevent this, maybe we don't flick over there. Say we use upward momentum. Let's see how many studs down we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is about good. I'll go a little bit lower because
Oh
the
my
kill
god.
brick spinner is a
GG.
little bit, you know, scary.
Wait,
And
wait,
then
wait,
I'll
wait,
turn a
wait,
little
let me
bit
turn on the mic. Let me
because
turn off the mic. Turn
I'll have
off.
to get right back onto
turn
here. It's
the
only
volume
one
of my mic higher
truss
so you can
prong,
hear me
so
clearly.
it'll be
Holy cow!
not too
Oh
much
my.
to
Wait, yeah, I'm hitting like the
you know,
middle.
grab onto. So
Okay, I just don't.
sure,
I just,
we could do that,
Where's my heart rate
but
monitor?
as you saw,
I need a heart rate
that
monitor,
was, you know,
okay,
a
I'm just
little
kidding.
bit close, and
I'm not that
you know,
nervous,
I missed
okay?
that one. So
Okay,
there is
I'm
actually a way
definitely more
to make this a
nervous.
lot easier. Many of you might know
Okay,
it.
when
It
doing
is
like that
no jumping
last part
on a
of doing
truss.
the
Now, remember when I told
the
you
wraps,
that,
I
you know, going
I
the
think I
bottom
was
of your torso
more
to the top of the
nervous
first truss
than
rung,
when I was doing
like this.
QCL.
Well, to show you what actually happens, remember I told you that your foot is shoved into this truss, and to
at least all
boot
these
you out
jumps
of it, you
are
know,
possible, dude.
your arm will be in the wall, so it'll push you to the right, but your foot will also be in the truss, so it'll push you up. And so if I don't jump and I just, you know, shift, it'll push me up, and that'll be different from, say, I'm at the top of the truss and I get barely any you know, height. So for this, we'll go down to the bottom of the truss, and then we'll just treat it like a normal truss flick, just without jumping. So, okay, I didn't. So yeah, you have to turn a little bit more,
here is
and then that just makes it really easy and has almost no failability. So if you're ever on a no jump, then or no jump truss section.
Quite devious. Okay. GG. Wow, can we take a screenshot? Holy, this is magnificent, bro. This is magnificent. Take this whole screen. This is peak. You screenshot this. You shot this. And this is gonna be the thumbnail. This can literally just be the thumbnail. Okay, maybe I should add like the clicky so my like this. Yeah, this way. GG. Wow, this is great. Wow, I beat it. Wow, I literally beat it. Wow, I beat my own obby. Crazy. This new update really nerfed the difficulty to beat this. So with like according like the recent list, it's around BLOODCLOT level. I say this is like BLOODCLOT difficulty, I think. Oh, I missed the jump. Okay, so yeah, this is BLOODCLOT difficulty, I think. Yeah, it's BLOODCLOT difficulty. Okay, there's since like is okay. So okay, doing these torturous 4-star 10.1 star wraps aren't that hard now, but like it's probably harder than doing the gameplay from BLOODCLOT, I think, because it's the nerves, you know, the nerves. Like I had no nerves when doing BLOODCLOT beside the last jump. This thing has like you have nerves like there, like this part, like 3/4 in, you have nerves already. So I think this is equal difficulty as BLOODCLOT. You know, I hope that's where it get placed. So GG's. Bye bye.